Yo, so guys, welcome back to another reaction video. Today I'm going to be reacting to top 5 earliest the strangest broadcasting instructors in history. So, without further ado, sort it.
Since the invention of mainstream radio and television, billions of watchers and listeners have tuned in for their dose of entertainment and education. But just imagine watching your favourite TV show or listening to the radio, only for it to be interrupted by a strange broadcast or mysterious message. It would definitely leave you confused and uneasy. Well, there have been many cases over the years where people have managed to hack into a station or show and interrupt it. And although it may seem like a harmless offence, it requires some sophisticated equipment and planning, and also carries a heavy punishment. So, here are 5 broadcasts that were either interrupted or hacked, and you're going to want to see number 1 because it is truly insane. Max Headroom. Okay, I couldn't not include this one, and it's probably the most famous broadcast interruption out there, but you may not know the full story. It started on the evening of November the 22nd, 1987, when 2 bizarre broadcast signal intrusions confused thousands of watchers. The first took place during a primetime newscast on WGN-TV in Chicago, when, as highlights of the Chicago Bears' victory over the Detroit Lions was being shown, the screen suddenly went black. Then, after a few seconds, a person wearing a Max Headroom mask appeared on screen. In the background was a sheet of moving corrugated metal, and the man started moving around and jumping, imitating effects used in the Max Headroom TV film series. There was no vocals, just strange buzzing and pulsating sounds. The broadcast was abruptly stopped after engineers switched frequencies, leaving the bewildered sports presenter and thousands of viewers wondering what had just happened. Take a look. That was the first interruption. Then, almost bang on 2 hours later, an episode of Doctor Who that was being played on WTTW was first interrupted by static, and then none other than Max Headroom. This time though, he was more audible, mentioning WGN sportscaster Chuck Swirsky, moaning, laughing a series of random unrelated phrases, and holding a Pepsi can while saying, "Catch the wave," a reference to Coca-Cola's advertising campaign at the time. After continued random phrases and actions, the transmission blocked out and the Doctor Who episode resumed. Take a look. This hijack lasted around 90 seconds, and it was questioned why it couldn't have been stopped sooner. But engineers explained that due to the high microwave signals the hijacker was using, and the lack of engineers on duty at the time, they were not able to intercept sooner. broadcast experts have said that in order to have a signal strong enough to be able to intercept the shows like they did, they would have needed a very powerful rig, one costing around $25,000 at the time, and would have needed to be very close to the WTTW's antenna that was atop of the Sears Tower in downtown Chicago. Some people find the max headroom interruption scary, and some find it funny. But what makes it even stranger is that there doesn't seem to be any motive behind why they did it, apart from it just being a clever prank. And despite investigations, neither the hijacker or his accomplices have ever been identified, and the whole incident still remains unsolved. The 1977 alien interruption. On the 26th of November 1977, at around 5:10 in the evening, the Hannington transmitter used by the Southern Television in the UK was hijacked for 6 minutes during an early evening news bulletin being read by Andrew Gardner. Thousands of viewers witnessed the incident and were left confused and pretty terrified by the sinister incident, with some believing it had actually come from an alien civilization. The audio hijack was a voice which spoke over the newscaster and was disguised and accompanied by a deep buzzing sound. The speaker claimed to be a representative of an intergalactic association. The message appeared to be a warning to viewers, with statements like, "All your weapons of evil must be removed, and you have a short time to live in peace together." Although there is a transcript of what was said, there is unfortunately no recording, but what you're about to see is a mock-up of what actually happened that is often confused with the real thing.
This is the voice of God, representative of Star Galactic, speaking to all. For many years you have seen us as lights of stars. We speak to the people who things about our brothers and sisters on the distant planet. To talk to you of the destiny of your race and your world.
Still hear like people talking in the background.
Really appreciate that we can I really talking radio. I can
As you can imagine, you would be left pretty unnerved if you were watching the news and that came on. It was quickly investigated by UK investigators, who were unable to determine the source of the signal or identify the hijacker. No one has ever come forward over the years to claim responsibility, but since 5 major transmitters were hijacked simultaneously that evening, whoever was behind it would have required a considerable amount of transmitting power and a very coordinated plan. Zombie apocalypse. In February 2013, Montana television viewers had an episode of the daytime TV program The Steve Wilkos Show suddenly interrupted with an emergency alert system voiceover. But instead of warning viewers of a nuclear attack or natural disaster like it's set up for, it broadcasted the following statement.
Civil authorities in your area have reported that the bodies of the dead are rising from their graves and attacking the living. Follow the messages on screen that will be updated as information becomes available. Do not attempt to approach or apprehend these bodies as they are considered extremely dangerous.
The alert was quickly pulled off air, and KRTV issued an immediate apology, reassuring viewers that dead bodies were not rising from their graves in Montana, and the local police also had to reassure the public that zombies were not taking over. But just imagine if this system was hacked with a more realistic threat, it could cause widespread panic and chaos. It was reported that later on the same night in Michigan, the same type of message about a zombie invasion was made over the emergency system of another station, along with a similar incident in New Mexico. Captain Midnight. On April the 27th, 1986, John R. McDougal, a man using the name Captain Midnight, hijacked HBO satellite signal to broadcast a message protesting about the high cost of paying for their service. The protest came about when in the mid-80s cable TV was introduced, and the United States media companies that owned pay television channels started scrambling previously accessible programs. So when HBO scrambled its signal in January 1986 and offered subscription prices that were higher than that of cable users, it caused protests. So John McDougal, an engineer at a satellite transmission facility in Florida, decided to act and carried out the test by superimposing a color test pattern on HBO's signal. It only lasted a few seconds and went more or less unnoticed as it was broadcast during the early hours. Then, a few days later, using his expertise in this area, he transmitted a signal onto the HBO satellite that caused a 4.5-minute override during the screening of the movie The Falcon and the Snowman, displaying this message. This caused panic with Hughes Communications, and they threatened to shut down HBO's satellite signal, fearing it had been hacked by a domestic terrorist. And as for McDougal, he was caught and charged, and after a plea bargain was fined $5,000 and placed on probation for a year. Area 51 call. I said I was saving the best for last, and I wasn't lying, because this one is truly insane. Coast to Coast AM is a very popular North American radio talk show that has been going since 1984. Well, on September the 11th, 1997, the show's creator and host of the time, Artback, received a call from a man claiming to have worked at Area 51. He spoke in a frenzied voice and seemed quite terrified as he spoke of extra-dimensional beings and government plots that would have horrific effects on our world. Now, although this wasn't exactly a hacking like the others, it was incredibly unexpected and caused a strange, unexplained disruption to the transmission. As the caller got more and more upset, the show temporarily went off air. This was caused by a mysterious satellite failure in the transmitter that was carrying the show, leading many to believe the government shut it down to stop him from spilling too much information. Take a listen.
Come on, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Yes.
Hi. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not.
Area 51.
Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee.
Former employee.
I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want those major population centers wiped out, so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
I'm just gonna have to video up here. There's a bit more notice about my video called as a limited amount from recording. I believe that's 3 to 14 and